Minister declared at the General Assembly of the Socialist Party today that the cause of the split in the coalition with the SMI was their lack of willingness to realise justice reform. Although in recent years the level of Albanian exports has increased, our country lags far behind the others in the region regarding the value of exports. As he assisted in planting another 110 trees today, Mayor Erion Veliaj praised the initiative for transforming Tirana from the most polluted city in the Balkans to now being 3 times cleaner than Skopje. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Saturday, the 6th of January 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. I'm Alexandra, bringing you the day's national top stories from across the country, translated into English. Headlining tonight, the parliamentary group of the Socialist Party held their assembly meeting today with Prime Minister Edi Rama declaring that it was their drive to achieve the justice reform that drove the wedge into the coalition with the SMI, stating the reform was the ultimate cause of the division with the SMI. Last year, the Democratic Party took action through inaction, declaring they would boycott elections and remain encamped in a tent outside the Prime Minister's office for months. According to Rama, though the physical tent is no longer visible, the project of inaction has grown into a consolidated effort between the DP and the SMI in order to prevent the justice reform from being realised. The DP and SMI are just repeating previous failed attempts. This is another tent against justice, said Edi Rama. Without any concern that this situation could affect the ability of the government to function, Rama warned that the actions of the opposition parties serve only to harm Albania at a crucial stage in terms of opening EU negotiations. The Prime Minister again urged the opposition leader, Lulzim Basha, to cooperate with the majority for the sake of the country's integration. The biggest threat to the opening of negotiations for Albania's entry into the EU comes from within. The opposition must begin to collaborate with us for the good of the country, said Edi Rama. With local elections on the horizon, Rama highlighted the mayors who play politically as though it is a game. Misusing political forces will not be tolerated. The chairman of the Socialist Party emphasised that these mayors will no longer be candidates of the Socialist Party and that the main criterion for candidates will relate directly to a successful plan for water reform. We will no longer offer candidates for mayor who are only interested in political plays, said Edi Rama. Today's General Assembly of the Socialist Party did not include purely fluffy and flowery words, as is normally witnessed, with the Secretary-General Talont Balla choosing not to hold back when assessing the party's progress. Balla declared that the performance of the party is a grey area and that there is still a lot to be done, with every individual presenting opportunities to improve their personal performance and contribution. There is still a lot of work for the proper organisation of the party, said Talont Balla. Although the meeting took place with the aim of changing secretaries, it was decided that those currently in the positions will remain, as well as 2 additional positions being added. Teuta Boda, the Deputy Minister of Justice, will cover international relations, and Bledi Chuchi, an MP, will cover election issues. Gramos Ruchi will remain part of the party's leadership. No change to the current secretaries, although Chuchi and Boda have been added, said Talont Balla. In the upcoming election, the Socialist Party will rely on their coalition with the citizens in facing the opposition. Therefore, it is up to the political leaders of the districts to work even harder than before. Leaders of the districts will have the primary responsibilities, even if they are ministers, said Talont Balla. Albania has ranked poorly compared to the countries of the region in terms of income and competition in exports. The International Monetary Fund urges the government to intervene, improving the environment for the manufacturing of Albanian products, considering it as the only way to increase exports. In an analysis of exports from the Balkan countries, the IMF recommended Albania take concrete measures to improve the growth of exports, as it is an important element for the economic performance of a country. In the report, the IMF lists a number of challenges that need to be solved, including weak institutions, infrastructure shortcomings, an overly complex tax system, few funding opportunities, as well as unqualified labour. According to the report, Albania's exports largely focus on the textile sector and very little in oils and minerals, bringing in less income compared to other countries in the region. Although the downturn has seen some recovery this year, Albania remains the country with the lowest level of exports in the region, an indicator that demonstrates a lack of competitiveness in the economy. According to Instat data, during the 11 months of 2017, exports grew by €225 million compared to the same period of the previous year. The countries with which Albania has supplied the largest increase in exports compared to 2016 are Italy, Kosovo and Spain. However, exports to China and Macedonia have seen the largest reductions in levels of exported goods. As predicted by Aura News, the port of Durrës has been absolutely slammed in the last 24 hours, with Albanians returning to the EU countries where they live and work as the holidays come to a close. Yesterday evening, 3,547 people using 700 vehicles headed towards Italian ports, travelling on the 3 ferries operating according to the regular schedule. Many Albanians who live abroad chose to spend the year-end holidays with their families who remain here in Albania. Authorities at the Port of Durrës border point have taken all necessary measures to avoid problems, as passenger numbers are expected to continue to increase this evening and tomorrow. With 13 counters operating for the processing of travellers at the port, plus an additional 8 for the processing of vehicles, it comes as no surprise that there have been no complaints registered against the border service. The peak of the passenger influx is expected to occur over the next 24 hours, with passenger numbers expected to exceed 5,000, forcing travel companies to increase the number of ferries on offer this evening. To all persons exiting the country this weekend, we wish you safe travels. Mayor of Tirana, Erion Veliaj, together with a group of students, has planted about 110 trees in the capital following the Orbital Forest project. Veliaj said such initiatives are positive to raise awareness among young people regarding the importance of creating green spaces and for environmental care. Thanks to the generosity of donors, we are planting 110 new trees to continue with the idea of the Orbital Forest. I'm glad for the students because I believe it marks a new trend. Trends are not just cell phones, social networks or cafes, but also the behaviour we have toward the city. We have inherited some poor attitudes, and that we should ensure we breed better attitudes moving forward, said Erion Veliaj. Veliaj stressed that thanks to various initiatives undertaken during the past 2 years by the municipality of Tirana, air in the capital is 3 times cleaner than that of Skopje. He continued to appeal to citizens to use bicycles instead of motorised vehicles. 2 years ago, we started as the most polluted city in the Balkans. Today, we are 3 times cleaner than Skopje. We are products of the decisions we make ourselves. If we make decisions for more greenery, for fewer cars, more bicycles and running tracks, then the product of these decisions is cleaner air in Tirana. So the decisions we take lead the life of this city. Our city depends on the decisions we make today, said Erion Veliaj. The municipality of Tirana will continue with planting new trees in the capital until the end of the season for the implementation of the Orbital Forest project. The City Hall aims to have planted 2 million trees by the year 2030. And that's the news today. On behalf of Aura News, thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest from across Albania. Have a lovely weekend and good night.